Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about the Christmas movie sequels you never knew about. And there are a few. So let's jump right into it. With me, as always, is Miko. And let's get into it. So, the Christmas movie sequels you've never heard about. Sounds pretty exciting, right? If you're a Christmas movie fan, you probably don't know that some of your favorite Christmas movies have had sequels. One is It's a Wonderful Life. Now, the thing about that sequel is that they have talked for a while about doing a sequel to It's a Wonderful Life. Only nothing's ever come of it. But what if I told you there already was a sequel? It was a movie called Clarence, and it was a made-for-TV movie in 1990, starring Robert Carradine. And Kate Trotter played this girl who was married to a fellow angel that, the guy had died and his wife was in trouble. So Clarence goes back to Earth to help the wife of another angel. And argumentatively, that may not have been the first sequel. However, it falls in the lines of Ghostbusters, gender flipped and everything else. It Happened One Christmas was a movie in 1977. In this movie, a guardian angel named Clara Oddbody, rather than Clarence Oddbody, is sent to help a girl named Mary Bailey Hatch, whose husband is actually George Hatch. So you see what they did there? Not quite a sequel, but Clarence takes the same character that was the angel, Clarence Oddbody, and brings him into another story. Now, that being said, we'll jump into the next one because the next one is crazy. A Christmas Story actually had a sequel. You're like, yeah, we know. And the really, really hardcore movie fans are like, yeah, they had two. Wrong. They had actually an entire Little Ralphie cinematic universe going on. Only it wasn't quite cinematic, as a lot of them were made for TV movies. But this is the rundown. So, you know about the Christmas Story. So we'll skip over the Christmas Story and telling you what that's about. You know about the Christmas Story 2, which takes place in 2012, or maybe you didn't. If you didn't, it follows now teenage Ralphie, whose family's celebrating Christmas. That's the gist of the movie. It wasn't as popular as the original, and rightly so. However, this was not the first sequel to the movie. Oh no. Because the very first time we met Ralphie was in The Phantom of the Open Hearth. And that was in 1976 on a TV show, Visions. And it pretty much coincided with the Christmas Story we ultimately got. Now, that was not the last time we would see Ralphie before we saw him in A Christmas Story. The next time we would see Ralphie was in a movie, a made-for-TV movie called The Great American 4th of July. And other disasters. This was made in 1982, a year before the movie would ultimately first come to our attention. So, a year before The Christmas Story You Know, we had the teenage Matt Dillon playing the teenage Ralphie. And it was about his high school days. So, there you have that. Okay, so then, in 1985, we had the star-crossed romance of Josephine Kosciuszko. And that was a PBS American Playhouse sequel to the classic movie. In that one, a teenage Ralph and his family prepare for Thanksgiving dinner, where Ralphie falls in love with the new girl that lives next door. Okay, so that's it, right? No, because in 1988, we got Ollie Hoppanoodle's Haven of Bliss, a Disney movie where Ralphie is seen working a summer job. This one kind of falls in line with the last sequel that we actually got, which also takes place during the summer, but it doesn't really find Ralphie getting a job, it just finds Ralphie trying to survive the summer, and that is It Runs in the Family, or My Summer Story, taking place in 1994, where a preteen Ralphie is trying to survive the summer, going along with the same bullies that were in the Christmas Story movie. Which brings you up to date to the final sequel in the Christmas Story cinematic universe, which is A Christmas Story 2 in 2012. So we've come full circle. But that is an awful lot of sequels you didn't know existed to one of the most classic Christmas characters of all time. And say what you want about the Christmas Story movie, but when it airs 24 hours, you know you're going to spend a little bit of time watching it. So next up, we have Jingle All the Way 2. What can we say about Jingle All the Way 2? Well, the film stars Larry the Cable Guy. Yeah, Larry the Cable Guy, friends. It also stars a WWE wrestler, Santino Martino, whatever. I've forgotten that guy. But the movie didn't forget him, did they? No. And the thing of it is, the movie comes across like it really is trying to be a vessel for Larry the Cable Guy to just do random movies. It doesn't actually accomplish anything in being a sequel, but if you're a Larry the Cable Guy fan, or you were a fan of the original, you may find one or two things of this movie to like. The whole thing does feel like very much it's been catered towards Larry the Cable Guy's sense of humor. So if you're not a fan of his, this movie isn't even worth your time. But it is another sequel you may not have known about. Next up on our movies is A Christmas Vacation. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. But I bet you didn't know there was a sequel. A made-for-TV sequel. There's a lot of those in this. I believe Jingle All the Way 2 was in fact a TV movie as well. At least I don't remember ever seeing it hit theaters. But A Christmas Vacation, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, had a sequel entitled National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation 2, Cousin Eddie's Island Adventure. Now, as you can guess, the movie focuses on Cousin Eddie, played by Randy Quaid. And, wow, okay. It actually does bring back a few of the characters from the original, which I won't try to give away here, but none of the big ones. At least, you know, not directly. And here's the thing. The movie focuses on Eddie and his family, and of course there's two different kids, very much in the way that all the vacation movies have always been. And I'm not going to count those in this as Christmas sequels. Even though we did the same thing to A Christmas Story, here, this is a direct sequel to one movie. And the thing of it is, it does fall into the traps that the other movies had, where it has different kids, different scenarios that we saw. You know, it tries to keep up. The movie isn't amazing, but if you're a fan of Randy Quaid, check it out, because there is something about it that still makes it enjoyable. Randy Quaid's character of Cousin Eddie is enjoyable no matter what. And this movie proves that Cousin Eddie should have his own series of vacation movies. So that was some sequels to Christmas movies that you didn't know existed. Did you know about any of these? And if you knew about some of the ones that I talked about, let me know what you thought about those movies in the comments down below. That being said, on this channel, we talk about all things fandom, and we talk about them in a positive way. And if that's something that appeals to you, you know you've come to the right place. And we're so happy to have you here. Make sure that you're hitting that like button, hit that subscribe button, because Miko thinks we need more subscribers. And look at this face. I tend to believe him. Now, share this video with all of your friends so that they can get our great content and help us to make this channel grow so that we could donate a portion of the profits that go to this channel to Tourette's Research, making the world a better place, one video at a time. And hit that notification bell so you know when we do our next video. Did I say that already? That's important, so make sure you're doing that. And be safe out there, because the world, my friends, is a dangerous place, and it's Christmas time, and you have to be extra careful and extra nice to people and joyous and help your fellow man this holiday season. Because at the end of the day, fandom is family.